everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I have a very special video. I've been asked numerous times about digital stamps and how I use them and how are they used, and so I just figured I'd finally do a how-to digital stamps video and how I use my digital stamps and how you guys can do it too. So if you're new to digital stamps, I hope this video will help you guys out. I think I covered pretty much all the questions I can think of. If you have any other questions, just leave them down below in the comment box and I'll answer them. So I'm letting you look at my screen because I'm going to do a lot of talking for the first part of this video, and I don't want to just make you stare at a blank desk or something, so I'm like kind of doing bullet points on my Word document so you guys have something to look at and follow along. Alright, so digital stamps. Basically, they are digital images that are saved in two sorts of files. They can be used as a JPEG, which is just like an image file, and a PNG, which is more of a editing file that you can use in Photoshop and stuff like that. So depending on who you buy it from, they can save it in JPEG or PNG, and if you want one or the other, you can just ask them personally, like contact the artist or the store and just see if they offer both files or whatnot. So usually there isn't a problem with that, and if there is, you can always contact the store owner and they should help you out. So basically, I use the JPEG form, which is just image, because the way I use my digital images or how I print them is I just use Word to kind of make a collage of all the different images I want to print at the same time. So I'll get to that after in the second part of this video, but I just want to show you that that is the file that I use. Okay, so this is a digital stamp set from Lane Studios, and it's one of the recent ones I just got. She's so cute. You see that she stands out from the background. The background is blue and she's a white character. This is a PNG file, and that's the #1 way to recognize a PNG file, at least for me, is if it looks like this, you know that you can alter and edit this image. I think, like, I'm not the pro at this, so don't quote me on this, but these files are ready to go and edit. I think a JPEG file you can't edit. I'm not really sure. I'm not a Photoshop expert, so if you guys are watching and you know more about that, you know, please write a comment or clarify that for me. But I'm pretty sure that a JPEG you cannot edit on like Photoshop or something like that. Anyway, this little guy over here is an Octopode factory image, and you can see that this is a JPEG, and the way you can figure that out is because you can see that it is all white. The image is white and the background is white, so it's all together. And this is the image I usually use. I don't really edit on Photoshop, so that is why I just use the JPEG file. Alright, so why go the digital stamp way? So I use both digital stamps and then physical stamp sets for different reasons, because a lot of my images and designers that I love have digital stamps, so I support them that way. And then I buy other stamp sets that I like as well. They're actual physical forms of stamp sets. The main reasons I think digital stamp sets are amazing is, one, that they can be used for digital artwork, which means if you have a PNG file image, you can upload it on Photoshop, you can start editing the image, you can color it in with different paints and stuff, you can create a digital artwork where you create a digital page or layout with them, you can layer images together, so if you create a background and you can add the image on top of that. You can do a lot of digital artwork and collages with digital stamp sets. I personally don't have experience in that, but I do know it's possible. The second main reason I love digital stamp sets is because the pricing is amazing. They are very reasonable. You can get some from really cheap. There's some that are available that can be like $1, $2, but the most average price range I've seen is from $3 to $5, or at least I've paid somewhere in between $3 to $5 for the image, and I think that's just really reasonable. You get the file sent to you, you save the file, it's for yours forever. Some companies have angel policies where you're allowed to use them for like 100 times or something. I'm not sure, but if you are interested in that, or if that's a concern for you, you can always read their policies in the shops that you buy them in, but I haven't had an issue with that, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. And the #1 reason I really love digital stamps, it's because you can resize them. You can make them super big if you're working on an art journal page, like an 8 by 11 size, and color it in. You can make them so tiny and make them like an inch. you can play around with the size that you need for a specific project. For example, this is a bring that I just cropped out of a bigger image, and all I needed was the bring. I didn't need the rest of the image. So it's very adjustable and resizable in that sense that you can really do a lot with digital stamps. Now, how I use them. I'm going to show you really quickly what I do when I want to print out some digital images. So, like I said, this guy is a PNG. Let's copy. I do it on Word, so I just open a new document and I paste it. I right-click the image, I go to size, and then over here I just change it. So let's make it 3 inches. There you go. I also play with the margin a lot so that I can add as many photos as I want into this. Now I'm pretty sure you can do what I'm doing here on another program like Photoshop or something, but I'm not the best with Photoshop, so I just do what I know, and this is easy for me, so this is how I do it. Now I usually tend to print more than one image and in various sizes because I want to have a few on hand if I want to use them for different projects. I don't want to always have to constantly print them. And then this one, let's make it 2.5. So there you go. Now this is a PNG file. It still works on Word. I didn't have any issues with copying and pasting. This guy is so cute. I'm going to paste it here. When there's like space like this, I like to crop the picture just so that I can fit as many images as I can. Because this is a JPEG file, the background is part of the image, so I tend to just crop these type of images like that. Copy, paste. So I'm just gonna make this one a little bit bigger. Let's make him 3. So I think he's so cute. And now this way I have a ton on hand and I don't have to constantly print them. So what I like to do is go into the print preview so I can get an idea of how this is gonna come out. So this one's pretty big. So you see this white space here? I'm pretty sure if you use Photoshop or something like that, you can add more images here, but because I'm using Word, it's difficult. You'd have to start playing around with placement, and I'm just not going to get into that. For this sample, this doesn't really bother me. I can always cut the space out and use it for something else, so I am just going to leave it like that. Let me just cover some printing guides. So digital images need to be printed on a laser jet printer or laser printer, because when you go to color them, you don't want the ink of the printer to smear and ruin your markers if you're using Copics. So a laser printer prints it in a way that the image does not smear, and you can use any coloring medium. You can use markers, Sharpies, Copics. Obviously you can use Prismacolor pencils or any other things like that. So you need a laser printer, and that is what I use. Now, paper. I'm fortunate that I have a specific feed on my printer that takes in other sets of paper, so I have a separate loading dock. Like, I don't have just the copy paper section, I have another little like slit thing. I'll show you that after. But so when I use my paper, I just put it in that little opening and it'll take that instead of the copy paper. Of course, other printers may have this or may not have this, so it depends on the printer you're using. But the paper I use is an 80-pound cardstock white that I get from Michaels. I do have the Copic blending paper and all that. I even have some Nina Solar white cardstock that I use, but I tend to just use the paper that I pick up at Michaels because it's just more affordable for me. I print out a lot of digital images, and the Copic blending paper is a little expensive, so I don't want to have to, let's just face it, I'm hoarding my Copic paper. I use it on occasion, not really all that often. I just tend to go to this paper that I get from Michaels. I tried the one from Joann's, but the one at Michaels is a lot smoother. Obviously, the Copic paper is a lot smoother than the one I use, but it's still smooth enough, and I haven't had any issues with blending my colors together. I haven't had an issue. I haven't really noticed any differences, so I use that paper that I pick up at Michaels. Like I said, it's an 80-pound cardstock, so it's a little thicker. Copy paper isn't the best, and I don't suggest using copy paper unless you're using pencil crayons or something that's not too heavy, like a medium sort of ink or paint, because the paper will buckle and it's just not strong and it will bleed through to the other side. As long as it feeds into your printer and your printer can take the paper, you don't want to jam your printer or break it. So I would just do a little quick test run maybe to see if your printer can take in 80-pound cardstock. If it can't, maybe you can find a cardstock that's not so flimsy as the copy paper, and then you can use that instead. Again, it depends on your printer, so you really have to sort of adjust whatever I'm giving you, whatever advice I'm telling you. This is what I do personally, so you kind of have to like adjust it for your own uses and, you know, try things out for yourself, see how you like it or not. I received a question about flash drives, and yes, because these images are, you know, files on a computer, you can definitely add them to your USB key, and you can get them printed elsewhere if you can't print them at home. Maybe your friends have a printer that you can use, or a family member or someone you know. If not, you can go to an office supply store and you can print your images there. If you go to a office supply store, however, maybe you can ask them to feel the paper that they have. What you're looking for is something that has a good heft to it, like a good size pound paper, and you also want something that's super smooth to the touch, and a white would be nice, not like a dull white, if that makes any sense. Get a nice clear white cardstock. And yeah, ask them if you can feel it. I have no personal experience with this, but I'm pretty sure they are able to help you out. They can, if you ask them to feel the paper, they won't mind. So just see if it's smooth enough to your touch. That way, if you're using alcohol-based markers, they will blend easily and slide really well on the paper. And if not, if they don't have, then maybe you can bring your own paper. You can use the Michaels cardstock that I use and talk about a lot in this video. Bring your own paper, see if they can print it on that instead of using their paper. Again, this is all just ideas that I have. I'm not sure. I don't have any personal experience with printing at an office supply store, so these are just suggestions that I have, and then maybe you can work with that and see if the store that you're at can help you out with these type of things. So let me just now show you how I print my images, and we'll go from there. Alright, so this is my dinosaur of a printer. All I do is take my white cardstock, and you can see this opening here. This is what I was talking to you about before. So I just load it in, and it takes it in, it feeds in through the print. So I just clicked on quick print, and this is how I do it. There you go, and there are your images. So cute. So that's how I print my digital images. This is a sheet that I print yesterday, and so you can see I layer as many images on the paper as I can, and then I color them, and usually in one session I just put on one of my favorite shows and just have fun coloring. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of guided how-to video. If you have any questions, please let me know. Like I said before, I love digital images. I use both digital and actual, you know, physical stamps. It's just really a preference to you and what you like. So I buy digital images because I support the artist, I love the artist, and that is why I buy digital images as well. So that is it. I think I covered everything. If you find any questions or need help with anything else, just let me know. Again, this is just how I do it. I'm not an expert. I don't really know how to use Photoshop, so if there's different ways that people use digital images, I'm pretty sure there is out there. This is how I use my images, how I print them out, and my use for them. And yeah, I think that's it. This was a very wordy video. I'm sorry if I talk too much, but I just really wanted to do this video for you guys for a really long time now. I've been getting a lot of questions about digital images because I use it a lot. So I hope that helps answer some of your questions. Alright guys, have a great day. Bye!